What's up, Ranger Nation? It's your boy Jerome, and I'm coming to you today live. No, I'm not live. I'm just coming to you today with a review for Power Rangers Beast Morphers Episode 2, and it's titled Evox's Revenge. So, without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and get right into the episode. Alright, man. So, Beast Morphers Episode 2, just as great as Episode 1 was. This one, I would actually rate this one a 10 out of 10 because it was really, really, really good. I enjoyed everything about it. So the episode, it opened up, we see Blaze and Roxy. They are going to what is called the cyber dimension. And in the cyber dimension, they meet a new villain by the name of Scrozzle. And Scrozzle was ready to attack those two. But then we saw Evox in his serpent form come up, and he stops, because he actually summoned his Tronics. So we see Evox, he takes out the Tronics, and, Scrozzle just backs down to Evox because, Evox is the master of all of them. So we did notice, if you did notice on Blaze and Roxy's wrist, they have their own morphers, which I would love to have Blaze and Roxy's morphers as well. So Evox, he needs to escape from the cyber dimension. And then Scrozzle, he has a teleporter, I think it was on his wrist, but it doesn't have enough power in it. So then Roxy is talking about where they just came from and how it has Morphex energy, so they can, go and get the Morphex energy and, help Evox escape from the cyber dimension, I guess, to get to the, well, no, not guess, I know, to get to the real world. So Evox wants, Scrozzle and, either Blaze or Roxy to go to Grid Battle Force or the city of Coral Harbor to get, more Morphex energy. Power Rangers in these names for their cities, you got Angel Grove, you don't really count your adventure. You got Angel Grove, you got Mariner Bay, you got I can't remember what the name of Time Force was, but I'm not gonna go down the list of them. But I know you got Mariner Bay, you got Reefside, Blue Bay Harbor, New Tech City, all that, these weird names for these cities. And speaking of which, I forgot last week because I was naming, computer geniuses from Power Rangers, and I forgot to name two very important ones that we know well. Number one, someone in my comments mentioned Miss Fairweather, which I completely forgot Miss Fairweather from Lightspeed Rescue. And then I also, in the process of thinking about Miss Fairweather, I remembered Kendall from Power Rangers Dino Charge. So yeah. So then we're gonna keep moving forward. All right, guys. So next we saw the Rangers. They were at Big Grid Battle Force, and they were just leaving training. So then we saw Nate. Nate came and got them and told them that Commander Shaw wanted to have a conversation with them. So Zoe and Robbie believe that the conversation is about who is going to be the leader of the Ranger team. Well, Zoe and Robbie both feel that they should be the leader of the team. Devin, however, had nothing to say. So then they meet Commander Shaw. She tells them that they'll be meeting their tactical bots, which are the Beast bots. And, we are introduced to each one of them. We had Jax, who is Zoe's Beast bot. And, she's talking about how cute he was, but he doesn't like people calling him cute. And then we are introduced to Smash, who likes to hug people, but Robbie is not a hugger. And then we are introduced to Cruz, who is actually kind of forgetful, and he forgot what his name was, and Nate had to tell him his name. And he is Devin's Beast bot. And also, Cruz is voiced by Kelson Henderson, who is a great in the Ranger world. He has been Boom. He has been Boom, Phineas, Norg, Flit. Recently he was Mick, and now he is Cruz. So then we also see Ben and Betty come in, and they have a creation that they've made. So this episode, I do actually really, really like Ben and Betty. Ben and Betty, they remind me a lot of Boom, because Boom was the test subject in Power Rangers SPD. And speaking of, last week when I was talking about, the computer geniuses in Power Rangers history, I did forget to mention two people. And the two people that I forgot to mention was Miss Fairweather from Lightspeed Rescue. And then I also forgot to mention Kendall from Power Rangers Dino Charge. So, the Rangers then go and meet their, see their new Zords. And, the Zords are going to be steered or controlled by the Beast bots, i.e. Jack, Smash, and Cruz. So then Commander Shaw, she says that she has a big announcement for the Rangers, but she hasn't revealed it. All right, so then we jump back over to the cyber dimension. So, Blaze and Roxy are talking to Scrozzle. So we find out that Scrozzle has been hiding in the cyber dimension from a robot by the name of Vargoyle, which I'm pretty sure we're going to meet at some point in this season. And, he built the Tronics to protect him from Vargoyle. And he also has these keys that are similar to the Rangers keys. So he got them from, he got the keys from a wreckage. And he's, the keys once inserted into Blaze and Roxy's Morphers, it teleports them. And it teleports them from the cyber dimension to the the actual real world. So we see, he gives Blaze one of the keys, and he and Blaze teleport out of the cyber dimension, leaving Roxy there by herself. All right, so I actually did get ahead of myself when I was talking about the Beast Bots, but the Beast Bots assist the Rangers in training, and they are the control consoles for the Zords. So now the Rangers need a leader. Zoe and Robbie both think that they should be the leader of the team. Robbie believes he should be the leader of the team because he is the only one who has trained to be a Ranger, but that's not entirely true, because remember last week, Zoe did say she was, a cadet, but she got cut. So not 100% true. Yes, you did train to be a Power Ranger, but you're not the only one who was a cadet for, Grid Battle Force. And then, Zoe's talking about she has, she should be the leader because she has been in the laundry room and she's done so much stuff in the laundry room. And, Robbie's, he laughs at that and finds it funny. And Commander Shaw's like, I don't know why you find that funny because you've never done laundry a day in your life. And I was like, boom! Zing to you, Robbie. Like, go, Commander Shaw. So then Ben and Betty come in and tell them that there has been a disturbance in the city where we see, Blaze and Scrozzle taking Morphex energy. So then the Rangers leave to go intercept, Scrozzle and Blaze. And Ben and Betty is the one who always wants to go into action. Ben does not, but, Betty talks him into it. And we also found, which I didn't notice last week, that Ben and Betty were brother and sister. So then, the Rangers, they go into the city and they see, Blaze and Scrozzle taking the Morphex energy. All right, so in the city, like I said, Tronics were called by Blaze. The Rangers are fighting Blaze and the Tronics. So it does appear that the avatars of Blaze and Roxy have the memories of, the Blaze and Roxy who are asleep in a coma, whatever you want to call it. So it does appear they had their memories because, Blaze is like he's going to give Devin another lesson like he did at the karate dojo. So, like I said, they're fighting. So the Rangers then morph, which was a cool morph. I think it's looking at this, I believe that that's a flash morph. I don't think that's an actual morphing sequence. I just think it's a flash morph at this point. So with the Morphex energy and the Evox virus, Scrozzle has one of the keys, and it can make a Robotron. So he takes the key and he inserts it into some tires, and the tires turn into a monster by the name of Cyclotron. So the Rangers are fighting Cyclotron and and the Tronics and Blaze too. So while they're fighting, Devin, a dog runs across from Devin, and Devin, he just freezes, and he doesn't know why he's frozen. But thanks to Ben and Betty, they saved him. I was like, thank God Ben and Betty were there, because who knows what, at that point when he froze, he would have been destroyed if Ben and Betty did not go into action with him. So then you had Robbie. He was fighting the monster, and the monster's tires started to rev, so they started heating him up. And then Zoe tried to get in on the action too, but then they started going at one another. So then Robbie, he just started blasting. He blasted at the monster, and then he started blasting at Zoe. And then Zoe, she lost energy in her suit, which I was like, oh, this is kind of similar to RPM, because their suits were powered by Dr. K's computer system. And she demorphs, and then Robbie, he's just upset. He's trying to fight everybody, and Devin comes in and he breaks them apart, telling him you need to stop. But again, Robbie is so hot and upset that the only thing that could stop him was Smash coming in and pulling him away, but he was still overheated. All right, so then back in the cyber dimension, so Blaze and Scrozzle, they left, with the Morphex energy that they had taken from the city. So in the cyber dimension, Scrozzle is saying he doesn't have enough Morphex energy to release Evox into the real world, but he does have enough energy to power up his Zords, which are called the Giga Drones. And when I was looking at that, I'm like, okay, when he said Giga Drones, I'm like, this is going to be similar to Power Rangers SPD when Broodwing used to, sell his Zords to the monsters to fight the Rangers. So I'm like, okay, kind of see some comparisons between, different seasons. And I'm not saying this, I'm not saying that they're taking, copying and pasting, but you just kind of see, you can just look at it and see some similarities from previous seasons, and it just makes you feel what a lot of us used to, who grew up with Power Rangers. It just makes us feel what we used to feel every Saturday morning or during the week when it used to come on. I don't know, because Mighty Morphin Power Rangers back in the day used to come on during the weekday, and then I don't remember when it changed. I think it changed from the weekday with Power Rangers. It's either Turbo or Space, one of those two, when it went to the weekend. But it just gives a lot of this stuff just gives you a nostalgic feel of what Power Rangers was in the past before we got to the Neo Saban era. Which even with the Neo Saban era, it was just a few seasons that could have been, better written, better acted. But we're not gonna get into that because Hasbro has this, and so far with episode 2 of Beast Morphers, they have done a fantastic job. All right, so then back at Grid Battle Force, Nate is trying to figure out like what went wrong with the Rangers and why they, why did Zoe, demorph? Why did Ravi go on that, on a anger streak? And why did Devin freeze the way he did? So he can't figure anything out. So what Devin wants to do is Devin is talking to Zoe and Ravi, and he's telling them like, you guys need to stop this. You guys have to stop. We're a team. We need to be a team. We can't fight one another. And there's, like I said, they're still fighting with one another and trying to compete with one another about who will be the leader of the team. So then Devin tells Commander Shaw he wants to go back into the city where, Blaze and Scrozzle were, so that he can investigate to see what's going on and try to just, get more intel about this. So then in the cyber dimension, we see Scrozzle, and he is powering up one of his Giga Drones that can morph with Robotron once they teleport, Robotron data when they teleport. So then, Devin is in the city, and one of the Robotrons is materializing in the city. So then Commander Shaw tells him that he is, the only one that can stop this because but Ravi and Zoe are not in any position to help him at this point. So he can stop it with his Racer Zord. So we see him, he does another flash morph and jumps onto his cycle, and then he rides around the city, and there comes his Zord, and his Zord is so freaking cool. So then he powers up the Zord to robot mode, and he once again he's fighting the monster Cyclotron, and then there is a billboard with a dog on it. I was like, that's really odd that there is a billboard in the city with just a dog with nothing else on it, but I'm gonna let it be. But he freezes again, and then back at Grid Battle Force, that's when Nate finally figures it out. Their animal spirits are the reason why they're doing what's going on with them. Cheetah is a cat, which is, cats are afraid of dogs. So that's why, whenever Devin sees a dog, he freezes. And then Zoe, the reason why she demorphed because she had no energy, and she has to eat carrots in order to get energy. And then with Ravi, the reason why Ravi got so angry because he overheated. So Ravi has to not overheat. So, and this happened to them because when they got their Ranger powers, their powers were corrupted by the Evox virus. So it's a weakness from the Evox virus. So then, Devin, Ravi, and Zoe, they do go and help Devin. And, at the end of the day, they defeated Cyclotron. So back at Grid Battle Force, they tell Commander Shaw that they, Ravi and Zoe have decided who they think should be the leader of the team. And they both agree that, Devin should be the leader of the team because Devin is the one that, helped them when they, when their weaknesses took over. So Devin is going to be the leader of the team. And I'm glad that it worked out this way. I'm glad it just doesn't automatically go to Devin because he was the Red Ranger. I'm glad that Devin had to prove himself to be the leader of the team. Now, speaking of the toys, I'm ready for the toys to come out, man, because looking at the Cheetah Beast Blaster, loved it. The weapons, loved it. The Megazords, love it. Even the Morpher, I loved it. I have been on the fence about if I was going to buy a Ranger figure, but I'm pretty positive I'm going to buy a Ranger figure. It's going to take me some time to buy the Ranger figures, but when it comes down to the toy, the Morpher, I'm definitely getting that. When it comes down to the weapons, I will be getting those. And the Zords, since those come out later in the year, I'm getting them too. But that was Power Rangers Beast Morphers. Like the video, leave your comments, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys later. I don't know if I'm going to do another Ranger talk since I did one this week with Power Rangers RPM. But if I do one, you guys might see it later tonight. But until then, Ranger Nation, see you later. What's up, Ranger Nation? It's your boy Jerome, and I am here with our very first Power Rangers Beast Morphers review. This is season number 26 of Power Rangers. This is episode number 1. It is titled Beast Unleashed. So, without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and jump right on into this video. All right, you guys. So, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode of Power Rangers Beast Morphers. It made me feel like I used to feel about Power Rangers. I haven't felt this way about Power Rangers since the premiere of Power Rangers Dino Charge. And yeah, how long ago was that when Power Rangers? It was what? I'm about to pull it up. I forget what year. Was it 2015? Yeah, I think it was 2015 because that was the year that I moved to Dallas. So I'm pretty positive Power Rangers Dino Charge premiered in February of 2015, but let me double check. Power Rangers Dino Charge. Yep, February 7th, 2015. So, this episode, it had classic Power Rangers nostalgic feel to it because the beginning of the episode, we see, everybody's preparing for this press conference that Mayor Daniels is going to have, talking about the Morphex, that the Grid Battle Force is about to, unveil. So we see everybody talking about that. And then we see there's this karate class that's going on, and it looks like the Angel Grove Gym and Juice Bar. So I'm like, uh-oh. We're getting a little throwback to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers episode 1, Day of the Dumpster, when Jason was teaching that karate class and Bulk and Skull came into the karate class, interrupted the class, and Billy was trying to learn how to, trying to learn karate. And it also gave a little feel to Power Rangers Jungle Fury. If you guys remember the opening episode of Jungle Fury, when Casey was he wasn't even one of the chosen Rangers. It was going to be Jared, and Jared was teaching that class, and he was getting into it with with the Cub, and then Casey defended him. So it kind of gave that feel because in the background you had Devin. Devin had some headphones in his ear, and Devin was dancing. And and the reason why Devin was dancing because Devin did not feel challenged with Blaze's class. So the people that are running the class, it's Devin. Nope, no, scratch it. It's Blaze, it's Roxy, and it's Ravi that are doing this class. So Blaze goes and says something to Devin, and that's when Devin told him he didn't feel challenged enough by it. I'm like, oh. So then they started getting into it with the one. They started going at it, and much like with with Jungle Fury, remember Casey outdid Jared, so Devin is kind of one-upping Blaze at this point. So you got kind of different feels for Power Rangers seasons, like I said, Mighty Morphin and so far Jungle Fury. So then we see Mayor Daniels. He comes in and he is upset with Devin, because Devin was supposed to be going to an interview that he set up for him, and Devin's like, I don't know anything about cleaning. And then so Mayor Daniels, I guess, is going to send Devin to his interview, but he has his Grid Battle Force badge showing, and Devin takes his phone and he snaps a photo of it. And so Mayor Daniels, he gets out of the limousine and he goes into Grid Battle Force, and he tells the driver to take Devin where he's going to go, and Devin says, nope, this is my stop. So Devin gets out, and then we see we're introduced to Betty, and we are introduced to Ben. I don't know how I feel about Betty and Ben, because we just came out of Power Rangers Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel, where we had Victor and Monty, who were supposed to be comedic relief of that season, but Victor and Monty fell flat on all the viewers. And when it comes to Betty and Ben, I didn't think that they were funny, but I didn't think that they were as corny as Victor and Monty were. So we gonna rock and roll with Betty and Ben, and just play things out with those two. So because they were messing with Mary Daniels, and then that with them messing with Mary Daniels, that allowed for Devin to break in. Well, not really break in. He broke in. So and that kind of if you think about it, that gives you a little nostalgic feeling for Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, with Leo being a stowaway on Terra Adventure. So that was Devin, he snuck in. So Grid Battle Force, let's talk about that for a quick second. Grid Battle Force, it gives you some some vibes for other Power Rangers seasons. More specifically to me, it reminds me of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy with Terra Adventure. It reminds me of Power Rangers SPD with SPD Academy. It definitely reminds you of Power Rangers RPM with Corn City. It reminds you of Time Force with the Time Force. And it's just like, God, they kind of took from different seasons of Power Rangers to make this season. And so far, Hasbro, you're doing a good job. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. All right, so before I even get more into the episode, I do want to talk about the Power Rangers Beast Morphers theme song. So it released the other day. I was at work. I was gonna do a reaction to it, but I'd already saw it by the time I was at work, and I saw it when I was at my desk. So I couldn't really record anything at my desk, unfortunately. And I was gonna do it when I got home, but I was like, that won't be authentic. So I want to talk about it now. At first, I was like, and I'm not talking about how that the theme song is kind of short. The thing with me was with the theme song, I wasn't, because it's morphing time. I'm like, oh, and then go Power Rangers, go Power Rangers, Power Rangers Beast Morphers. I do love it. I actually had to listen to it more and more. I'm like, okay, love it. I don't care how short it is. I think it's absolutely amazing, fantastic. I'm with it. So let's get back into the episode. So the Commander and Nate, they are walking Mayor Daniels around, Grid Battle Force. They're telling him about the morphing grid. So, I'm assuming Nate is a child prodigy. So he's grown up, and I guess he's, a computer genius and stuff like that. Billy-esque, if you will. Billy-esque, Haley-esque, Cat Manx. Who else was a computer expert? Dr. K. Who else? I know I'm missing somebody. Not RJ. Well, RJ, because he created the the Jungle Fury Rangers. Cam Watanabe from Power Rangers Ninja Storm. Who else? Billy. Yeah, Billy. Okay, yeah, I think I got all of them. If you guys saw me pause, what I was doing was I was going by I was naming every season in my head. So, yeah. So, like I said, Nate is a child prodigy. He's tapped into the morphing grid, and they're telling him, they're telling the Commander everything that they can do. And the Commander is kind of iffy because he's like, for over different dimensions. I was like, Dimensions, finally. We keep talking about the dimensions, finally. Shout out, well, a big thumbs down to Power Rangers. Super Mega Force. They could have, oh my God. Super Mega Force could have been so much better than what it was if they had just introduced different dimensions. The Master Morpher, like, oh my God, like, I just think to myself, I'm like, oh my God, especially when we got Dimensions in Danger last year, and we got the Master Morpher, we got the different dimensions, the RPM universe, the RPM universe, the Dino Charge universe, like, oh my God, like, so that season could have been so much more epic than what it was, instead of, Gosei saying there's a simple explanation for that, and then there's a monster attack. And then, these Ranger powers come from different dimensions different planets that have never been seen before. He could have easily wrote that off as they came from, these are Rangers from different dimensions. You got this dimension, you got X dimension, you got different dimensions. Like, oh my God. And, you guys, I have every season on DVD. The only season I have not completed my collection yet is Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel, which just recently came out, and I still have not purchased it yet. But of all the seasons that I have, the seasons that I cannot watch will be Samurai, Super Samurai, Mega Force, and Super Mega Force. Cannot watch those seasons because I think the writing was crap. And I try to watch Ninja Steel, but Ninja Steel, I get why some of the fans felt the way that they felt. I liked it in the beginning, but then once you look at it, how heavily Victor and Monty showed up in the episodes, that was what did it for me with Power Rangers with Ninja Steel and Super Ninja Steel. It was just basically Victor and Monty. But we're gonna get off of Super Ninja Steel and let it be in the past. So yeah, well, I guess we can't let it be in the past because Mayor Daniels, he mentioned, like I said, how monsters from different dimensions tried to get the Rangers' powers. He mentioned Rita Repulsa, Sledge, and he mentioned Galvanax. He was correct with 2 of the 3 that he named. Rita was not trying to steal the Rangers' powers. Rita was trying to destroy the Earth. She was trying to conquer Earth. After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth. Alpha, Rita's escape. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitude. Yeah, so that was what Rita was. Now, Sledge and Galvanax, that is correct. Sledge, he wanted the Inner Gems for his own personal gain, and Galvanax, he wanted the Ninja Nexus Prism. So that was 100% correct. Let me look at my notes to see where I'm at. Give me just a second, you guys. I was, oh my God, so enthusiastic. Okay, so like I said, they were showing the Mayor Daniels around, and then they had the 3 Rangers, covered up, and he was like, "Can I see who those Rangers are?" They were like, "We have to keep their identities safe and secret." Love it. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin through Power Rangers in space is when they kept their identities safe. Well, Lost Galaxy kept their identities safe too. Lightspeed Rescue did not. Time Force did, or did they? No, they kept their hideout safe from Ransik. Okay, back to this. So we finally do see who the original Rangers are. So the Rangers are Roxy, she's yellow, Blaze, he's red, and Ravi, he is the Blue Ranger. So Devin, like I said, he snuck in earlier. So Devin is looking, and he's like, that guy, he's the Ranger. I agreed with him, like Blaze, a Ranger. Again, Jungle Fury vibes, because in Jungle Fury, Casey was not the original Red Ranger. What was his name again? Jared was supposed to be the Red Ranger, but Jared was evil, and he got taken over by Daishi. And this whole thing, it gives you Jungle Fury vibes, because when they finally saw Devin, Blaze was like, "That's the mayor's son," and they put them in there to morph them into the Power Rangers. And when they do that, before they can do that, Devin tells them that there's a computer virus that is hidden in the morphing grid, and they don't believe him. So then, before they, get everything together, Nate double checks it to make sure that there's nothing there. He says to the commander, he said, I checked it, there's no virus. So they start the process of, morphing the Rangers into the Beast Morpher Rangers. And, when they start that, that's when Evox appears. So Evox appears, and you first get Blaze, he gets corrupted, and then you get Roxy, she's corrupted. So the original Roxy and Blaze, they're asleep. So these are just avatars of the of Blaze and Roxy. And then they start to fight with Ravi. Well, actually Devin, he's still in there, and he takes a blaster and he blasts, and it frees Ravi. So then Ravi, Zoe, and Devin, they're fighting with the avatars of Blaze and Roxy. And Blaze and Roxy were getting the best of them. So, Roxy, she shoots something out of her arm. She just shoots something out of here, and they're caught. And I also mentioned this in my reaction video to the trailer, and I think I hit it on the head. So almost. And this, again, gives you more of Power Rangers Jungle Fury vibes. Because if you guys remember, Camille and Jared, they had their armored modes that they can switch in and out of, much like Blaze and Roxy. So there's a comparison between those two, Blaze and Roxy, and Jared and Camille. So I'm pretty sure later on down the line, Blaze and Roxy will join the Rangers in the battle against Evox. Mark my words on that part. All right. So when Roxy, she puts them in the tubes, and something fell down from the sky, and it broke it broke what she was holding them with, and then Nate, he transforms them into the Power Rangers Beast Morphers. So then they start to fight, and they teleport Blaze and Roxy somewhere. We don't know where Blaze and Roxy went to, but it's pretty evident that eventually they're coming back. So the real Blaze and Roxy, they are asleep in a cryogenic chamber, which resembles what Zane was in Power Rangers in Space. And oh my God, Nate, he's telling that when they did that, what happened was it created clones of Blaze and Roxy. So the original Blaze and Roxy are asleep, and the avatars are awake, and they're all linked together. The only way for the real Blaze and Roxy to awaken is for them to destroy the avatar Blaze and Roxy. And Nate uses the word affirmative, which is a shout out to Billy from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So now Zoe and Devin are the Power Rangers, and they weren't originally chosen to be the Rangers, but they've taken on this role now, and we find out that the commander is Ravi's mother. I'm like, oh, okay, so we got a mother and son and a father and son. This is going to be an interesting season. So I will give this episode, at first I said 8 out of 10, but I'm gonna say 9 out of 10 because it was actually really, really good. I'm just not quite sure how I feel about, like again, I said Betty and Ben. But that was Power Rangers Beast Morphers. I am looking forward to this season. Like my video, leave your comments. Tell me how you guys felt about this first episode. And I will see you guys later on. I will see you guys who watch my Power Ranger fans. I will see you guys again if we get something, which we did. I'm going to do a Ranger Talk next week because there's some stuff that happened at the end of this week. More specifically yesterday. So I'm gonna talk about that next week, and then we'll have episode 2 of Power Rangers Beast Morphers. So until then, I will see you guys later.